Here's why I think Hugh Jackson was fired. This is my belief. My brother and I would fight as kids. We'd make all a bunch of noise, beat each other up, get really angry. And my dad would say, screw it. Both of you guys go to your room. I'm done dealing with this. He'd get fed up. And there's key info here. It was not just Hugh Jackson that was fired by the Cleveland Browns. It was also the Browns' offensive coordinator, Todd Haley. I think it's possible that the Browns and their organization said, we're tired of this fighting between Todd Haley and Hugh Jackson. Out with both of you. We all saw it. We all watched Hard Knocks. Saw that moment. I've sat in your chair. There's that weird... It didn't seem like they had a great relationship. And I think that dysfunctional relationship between Todd Haley and Hugh Jackson, the Browns decided, no more of that. We're done. They canned both of them. And also, look, I understand. Hugh Jackson is 3-36-1 as the Cleveland Browns head coach. Yeah, doesn't bode well. I understand why the Browns fired their head coach. I totally get it. I also don't really agree with it. I mean, call me conservative. I don't like when you fire a coach midseason. I rarely think it's a good move unless the guy's doing horrible stuff, like behind the scenes, really bad stuff. And maybe that's what it was, because that's got to be what it is, right? It can't be that they were 2-5-1. I just don't understand that. This is why I would not have fired Hugh Jackson. So I understand it, but I don't agree with it. What's next? If you're the Cleveland Browns, what is your next move? I don't know that they have one. Sadly, I wish they did. I wish I thought they did. This does not seem like a calculated move. If it is, if I'm wrong, happy to be wrong. But I ask you, if you're a Browns fan, if you're John Dorsey, what's your plan? What's next? It doesn't seem like they have one. This does not feel like a calculated move by the Cleveland Browns. In fact, it seems emotional. We're done. 2-5-1. Get out of here. We're done. You guys are fighting. Get out of here. Again, I would argue they tied the Steelers. They lost to Drew Brees because of their kicker. They got rid of that guy, Zane Gonzalez. They played in 4 overtime games. They have a rookie quarterback, and in 6 of the 8 games the Browns have played, they've been within a score. They've all been highly competitive. I understand that Hugh Jackson was 1-31 in the last 2 years, but I don't think it's fair to judge Hugh Jackson without a quarterback. So that's why I don't know that's all it is. I think it is a lot of the fighting in between the coaches. But again, I ask, what is your plan? A lot of Browns people are typing very angry comments. Of course it was good to fire Hugh Jackson. Take a deep breath. All I ask, what is the plan in Cleveland? If you have a plan, I support this move. If you don't, you should have stuck with Hugh Jackson. Because right now, Greg Williams, the former defensive coordinator, is now the interim head coach. He's the guy who was at the top of Bounty Gate. Yeah, that guy. He's now the head coach of the Browns. Great. Awesome. He's also not an offensive guy. And you have a rookie quarterback who needs help, who needs a coach. And maybe the answer is Lincoln Riley, the coach at Oklahoma. Maybe it's Urban Meyer. A lot of people throw Urban Meyer's name out there. So the top candidates for the Browns job are the Oklahoma coach and the Ohio State coach. 2 teams ranked in the top 10, winning a bunch of games, doing incredibly well. Look, I've worked jobs scrubbing toilets, and what I learned from that experience is you don't want a job scrubbing toilets, and you don't leave a good job for a job scrubbing toilets. The Cleveland Browns is a job scrubbing toilets. It's not a job people want. Someone has to do it, but it's not a desirable job. And I don't see any way, there is no way, you leave a great situation like Oklahoma or Ohio State to go coach the Cleveland Browns. I mean, Bill Belichick couldn't even win in Cleveland. And I really feel bad for the Cleveland Browns. I do. Because it's kind of a catch-22. They have created a situation where they need a new head coach, and the Browns need a top-level head coach. I think the only way the Browns are going to get out of this misery is you get Baker Mayfield, their franchise quarterback, hopefully, we think, and a great head coach. The problem is, if you're any great head coach, why would you go to the Cleveland Browns? Why would you do it? There's no reason to go, especially if you have something good already. I mean, we've seen years and years of misery and coach turnover after turnover after turnover. If I'm Lincoln Riley, I go, I have a great situation. I have job security. I win a bunch of games, making millions of dollars. I go to Cleveland, I'm guaranteed, 2 years maybe? If I don't win in 2 years, I'm out, because that's what they do every year. Every single time the Browns get a head coach, he's there for 2 years, if that, and then he's out. You can't have that many coaches fired that quickly. It doesn't work. And I want to ask, are the Browns better today than before they fired Hugh Jackson? Legitimately, are they? I'm not convinced they are. I mean, again, I asked the question, you have 8 games left. And my first question was, who is going to facilitate and help develop Baker Mayfield? I found an answer to this question, and it's actually pretty exciting. There's a silver lining to all of this. Freddie Kitchens is a name. I want you to look it up. Freddie Kitchens. He is a new Browns offensive coordinator. He's going to be the guy helping Baker Mayfield. He's also a former quarterback at Alabama. He coached under Bruce Arians, a great guy. Look up, there's a great piece by NFL Films all about him, how he's very selfless. Maybe he's the guy. I hope so. I hope he can help Baker Mayfield. I don't know that Freddie Kitchens is the right guy, but hey, that's a start. When I saw that, I was like, okay, that's better than nothing. But call me conservative. I don't know that firing a head coach mid-season really does all that good. I think the next 8 games for the Browns are going to be incredibly stressful, tough, and I'd be surprised if they won a lot of games in the next. If they go on a crazy run, win 7 of the next 8 games, hey, I'm wrong. That's awesome. I don't think that's going to happen. And it seemed like they were building something with Hugh Jackson, and they bailed on it a little too early. I don't know. I don't think Hugh Jackson, don't get me wrong, I do not believe Hugh Jackson is the guy to turn around the Cleveland Browns. I thought he could have been maybe, but I think he's better one-on-one with helping. He should be a quarterback coach, is what he should be. He did a great job with Andy Dalton. I can't remember the other quarterbacks he's worked with, but he does good as a quarterback coach, and I think that's where Hugh Jackson's limitation lies. He's good in small groups and one-on-one conversations. I don't know that I want him running the whole herd. If the Browns want an elite head coach, here's the thing. The Cleveland Browns must attract a top-level elite head coach if they want to turn this whole thing around. And to do that, they're going to have to give their next coach a John Gruden-style contract. I mean, people just assume. They just assume Lincoln Riley is dying to get out of college football. As if, yeah, of course Lincoln Riley wants to be in the NFL because everybody wants to move up, don't they? Don't they? Do they? I don't think so. I really don't. Why, again, I ask you this question, why would you leave Oklahoma? You're winning a bunch of games, you're making millions of dollars, and you have job security. You know what you don't have in Cleveland? You're not winning, and you don't have job security. You're going to make millions of dollars, but 2 years? He might leave Oklahoma for the Cowboys. That would make sense. It's a good job. Legendary job. You know what's not a legendary job? The Cleveland Browns. And I know it makes sense that Baker Mayfield is there. Everyone goes, yeah, they want to work together. I just don't believe that's enough of a draw to pry Lincoln Riley out of Oklahoma. You know what is? You know what would be enough to get Lincoln Riley to Oklahoma? Here's $70 million guaranteed. And here's a 7-year contract. And we're not going to mess with it. We're going to give you time. We'll be patient. Do your thing, Lincoln Riley. Go make it work. If they can get a head coach, give him a ton of money, and then leave it alone, that could actually work in Cleveland. That is what I would do if I was the Cleveland Browns. A 7-year contract, $70 million, and if you fail, you're set for life. That's the only way to attract a great head coach like Lincoln Riley or Urban Meyer. But otherwise, I'm not leaving Oklahoma. It's like you have a great kingdom. You have this wonderful kingdom, grows a lot of crops, people are happy, and then someone offers you, if you get rid of your kingdom, this wonderful thing you love, we'll give you a slightly bigger kingdom Oh, but it's filled with swampland. It doesn't grow any crops. It's kind of miserable. Why would you do that? You have a good thing going. I don't think Lincoln Riley leaves a good thing unless you guarantee him job security and a lot of money. 7 years, $70 million guaranteed. That gets Lincoln Riley out of Oklahoma, and then the Browns have a chance. But they need a coach like that. They can't go cheap. They can't get another Hugh Jackson. That's not going to turn things around. I briefly want to go back to the Cavs. I want to very briefly go back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. We've been on Cleveland. They fired 2 head coaches within 7 days. Oh, man. I feel bad for everybody in Cleveland. My name is Zach Schaumler. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. It means a ton to me. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It's my pride and joy, my favorite thing in the entire world. If you're not aware, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube, as well as shorter, interesting breakouts like the one you just watched. And if you really want to help me grow, it would mean a lot to me if you shared this with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about this show. My name is Zach Schaumler. Thank you so much, and have a great day.